Welcome back to Duckman Cycles VW Garage. You're probably watching this video on my other channel, VV the Duck VV. I'm your host, the Duckman. Welcome back to another exciting edition of Tech Session Saturday. That's right, it's where all of us members of the Rare Air Volkswagen crew get together and we work on each other's Volkswagens. This morning I had to do a little bit on my fastback here to get it out of the garage. It didn't want to start. Turned out the battery was flat. I haven't really hardly run it in about a month because it's just been too damn hot. And Florida weather just is no fun in an old air-cooled Volkswagen. The car is just incredibly hot this time of year. Anyway, things are starting to cool down, which is good. So this thing is back on the road and probably will be driven regularly again for about the next 8, 9, 10 months until it gets hotter than hell again and it's uncomfortable to drive. But hopefully by then, we have Eleanor, and Eleanor has air conditioning. So anyway, this car is really dusty, dirty. But I got the battery switched out on it and I got it running properly, and I had a problem with the carburetors falling out of sync, and that's becoming a regular issue. I'm going to have to look at the linkage on it. I think there's something about the linkage is soft or floppy. Something is bending, perhaps. I'm going to have to sort that out. But anyway, it runs good. It'll run and drive great for several days. Or actually, I could probably count the miles. If I try to drive from here to Panama City, halfway between here and Panama City, which is about 150 miles, it will start sputtering and run like crap at low throttle. But wide open, it's fine. So anyways, let's go ahead and get on the road. We got to go meet these guys. Everything seems to be running pretty good. Yeah, I'd say. Wonder if we got a little breakdown over here. Maybe not. Looking for the Volkswagen on the mailbox. That's always where we go. Volkswagen Tech Session. Alright. A lot of Beetles out here today. A lot of Beetles. I'll just sneak right in here. Good enough for me. How's it going?
Good.
What you got here?
You know what this is. Pure cotton.
Well, our YouTube viewers don't know, though.
Well,
This is the engine that was cotton injected, for those of you that don't know. We had some cotton wadded up in the intake, and we put it together and forgot it was in there, and it ran pretty bad for about a minute, maybe, until we realized what it was, and it all blew out, and it was all over my driveway, all burnt up.
I got some good, like 1500 degree, 3000 degree paint. I'm gonna paint this.
Paint? Okay, make sure you sand it down real good.
Yeah.
Get that rust off of there. Soak it in some phosphoric acid if you can. That'll eat it off too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Where the hell did you get that?
Oh, any hardware store.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, pretty much. Otherwise, I'll give you a link to the stuff I use on Amazon. It's cheaper than everybody else's. In fact, it'll be in a link in this video at the very bottom in the description.
That works.
Pretty much just sand the crap out of it and then paint it on and then let it sit. Don't put it in the sun. You don't want it to dry up too quickly.
Okay.
Let it sit, and then overnight, the next day, it'll come out. It'll be all black and white. And brush off the white powdery stuff. Paint it.
Paint it. That works.
And it'll stick real good.
Was it Oscar?
That works.
Yeah.
Oh.
Exactly right. Or competing products. It's the same stuff. Ooh, that sun is hot. Oh boy.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
So what are you doing today, Matt?
I'm going to strip this thing down for everything we need to go on the 1776.
Oh, where's that? Is it in the bus?
No, it's that side, Bill.
Oh, yeah, I guess you got a little roughed up. You had a little accident yesterday.
Oh, I've seen that.
You got rear-ended by an 82-year-old lady.
Did you hit the side of them too?
Looks like, yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember that being there.
I take it she went over the bumper.
So it looks like
That bumper is kind of a custom application anyway, because he has a trailer hitch and a custom exhaust and a whole bunch of stuff, so the bumper got put on weird.
You didn't bust that tail light.
Yeah, that's surprising.
Yeah.
So he's tearing it down. Looks like what? You got an hour into it and you pulled the carburetor off.
No, I just chit-chatting for an hour.
To make sure you wad something.
Hey, look, you got any,
throw some rags or some shit in there.
Oh, I know.
You don't need to ruin the engine.
You got any
what?
ideas how I can keep that in there? Look,
Yeah, put a zip tie on the backside of it.
Zip tie?
Yeah, right on the backside of it.
That works. I keep it in there?
Just tie it right here, real tight.
Okay.
Otherwise, there was no other way to keep it in there.
No.
Volkswagen factory didn't do anything with
I tried
that.
gluing it. Didn't work. JB Wells?
No,
Didn't work.
no. Well, I mean, it might, but not well.
No, it kept popping out.
Yeah, you got to zip tie it. And actually, it still might slip out.
That was.
What happens? It rides up to the carburetor?
Yeah. That's exactly what happened.
Yeah, that's what they do. Now you put a zip tie on the back of it, and that'll help hold it on. You do that just before you install it in the car. It's the last thing you do.
I ordered a set of
Cheese head screws?
Yeah. 32 of them for $6 on Amazon.
That's not bad.
Oh, not too bad.
I buy them in like a 1,000 pack for like $20.
Yeah, see, that's not bad. Figure I might as well put all the screws
So
in
people
there
like me would take my 1,000 pack and break it into 32 packs and make a small fortune.
Yeah. So we're not hearing this the whole time. One worked itself out over here. Look, and wedged itself in between the manifold.
Oh, it fell in there. How about that?
And it won't come out. I can't get it out.
Yeah, that'd be a little tricky.
Yeah. That's like, cool.
That's kind of funny, actually, of all the places for it to wind up.
Yep.
But shit, you ran this engine, what now? A year and a half? I think it was.
It'll be 2 in December.
It'll be 2 years?
Yeah, it'll be 2
no,
years.
it wasn't December. We got it in like February, March.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
that's
so
right, that's right.
it's about a year and a half
About a year
then.
and a half. No problems with it.
Good.
I mean, it's still
Good.
ran. It was.
No, we had it going. The only trouble we were having was with that weird timing because that distributor drive is just, it's not in there right.
Right.
And you remember that? And he came out
Yeah.
trying to tune it and he's telling me I'm all wrong, but of course I had the experience to know that this engine is just goofed by whoever built it.
Yeah.
So anyway, well good.
Yeah.
And that was the top end that came off of my dune buggy engine actually, which all looked brand new on the inside. So that was a rebuilt engine, but for some reason the bottom end fried on it.
Yeah. Thought it was pretty funny.
Did you get a light and flywheel too?
No, did not.
You still got your chance.
Yeah, we still got a little while.
Could have one here Monday, Tuesday.
Yeah, no.
Order on Amazon.
This one's good though. I mean,
Don't you have one on the new motor already?
no.
Oh, okay.
No, yeah.
I would definitely put a lighter one on if you can. I mean, it'll have more rev that way.
That's what Bill was
It'll
saying.
feel like it has more pep.
Yeah. I don't think they're too much either, are they?
Oh, less than 100.
Less than 100?
Yeah, less than 100.
Yeah, because when I went over to Just Bugs over in Cash Christian, he only had one for like $80.
Yeah, see, lightened.
Yeah.
Oh, bonus. Okay, yeah, that's actually good.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, with tax shipping, and so
I got that oil sump I can't use.
It's just trade it.
Low. Yeah.
trade it right back out.
Trade it right back out. He asked me too. He's like, "Is your car lowered?" I was like, "Yeah, it's lowered. It's not that low. I didn't think it was that low, like that low."
Oh yeah. You see how low my car is? I sent you that photo.
Oh yeah.
It's about that far from the ground, and that's not the engine. That's the chassis.
You gotta have full air pan on that thing, right?
No, it's going to be electromechanical.
What's that?
It's called Glenn.
It's called what?
It's called Glenn, the Duckman. I built it. Nothing you can buy.
That's the best time.
Yep.
Alright, so here's the scenario. Here we have a 71 bus.
Yep.
Made in February of 71, so it's officially a 71 model.
Okay.
The problem began when this seam along the original back hatch, bad rust.
Yep. That's what happens.
Bad rust. I suppose it could have been fixed. I thought the best thing to do was just going to be, let's find another back hatch. I had gone to a yard in southern Mississippi and picked one out, and the guy there, who I consider a trusted VW agent, said, hey, well, I got this one right here. It's off of 72. Let's use it. I said, sure, that sounds great. So Volkswagen got us yet again on this one. So, of course, in
what was different?
August of 71, even though, as you know, because you helped me last time, actually fit the hatch, the back.
Right.
I don't know if you know the rest of that story. But
no, I guess not.
As we can see, the later hatch actually fits in the hole quite nicely. That wasn't as easy as it first appeared. The first problem we had was these hinges.
Yeah.
These hinges on the 71 model were about an inch and a half further north than on this one.
So you put it on there and you go to close it and it won't close.
You couldn't even close it. It wouldn't even clear the gutter.
Yeah, somebody else told me that. They had exactly the same experience.
So that was a problem. So I got on the old Samba, did a little research, figured out that the hinges here, there was actually a difference in the curve. That was the only real change. They widened the curve a little bit and let that go south about an inch and a half. Long story longer, I basically was able to swap out the hinges without taking the spring out.
Good.
It was a few nervous moments, but was actually able to take enough tension off the spring, remove these pieces, take them out. I don't know if you can see anything up in there, but
I've really
kind of got it backed up a little bit. But anyway.
But you got them changed out, good, and I see it's working now.
We got that changed out, so huge victory right there.
Excellent.
So, next problem. As we can see, if you look right here, you go down, and you can just trust me on this, but this little notch where the back hatch latch fits is dead center, side to side.
Okay.
And if you look right here where the latch is supposed to hook up to, the striker plate, it's dead center, side to side. If you look right here,
I see.
They moved it over about another inch and a half over to the left side.
I wonder what the purpose of that was.
For whatever reason,
okay.
I have no idea. So my huge dilemma was, okay, I've already committed quite a bit to
putting that on there,
getting this on here. I mean, this is, I had such faith in the guy that I said, that's going to work fine. Let's go ahead and paint it and everything. I'll just spend that money. What the heck? It's only several $100s.
Right.
What's the big deal?
Sure.
So I've committed on the hatch, committed on the hinges. I was not, of course I wasn't expecting this, I wasn't expecting that, I wasn't expecting the last three different things. But I knew I had a little issue over here, so roll the seal out.
It needs a little repair back there anyway.
Ready to remove. As you can see down here, we got a problem. So I've got to commit to doing something here anyway. So why not? Let's just move the latch over an inch and a half. How hard could that be? Let's just take a look. So here
story goes deeper.
Here is an NOS piece of Volkswagen replacement part. There's the number right there. This is a 71 only piece that goes right there behind all that stuff.
Oh, it's internal. Okay.
This is an internal piece.
Gotcha.
So, but that is what the latch hooks up to. So that's what's behind there. If we want to take a quick pause for dramatic effect real quick, we're going to go look at Don's fuss.
All right.
8 months later, and we'll see it's a fairly significant difference back here. So you can see this, you can see the offset here.
Offset.
The other thing I've got to get, that latch will actually fit in the hole However, the little finger that actually engages it is
in the wrong
about a quarter of an inch too short, so I've got to get that and move it over.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
Of course, they changed absolutely everything. These striker plates were in the same place. So that didn't move at all. But so yeah, I mean, you can see the kind of the difference here in the way this thing is made. So
It's a bit different.
it is a bit different.
Coming from my eyes,
Yeah.
having built a Beetle from refrigerators, stoves, and dryers, I think you might be able to adapt the striker here and make it fit into your existing cup.
See, I thought about that. I definitely, I'm with you on that. It's just that where this piece right here, it needs to be all. I mean, it needs to be all the way over.
Oh, is it that far over?
It's pretty.
I thought it was just an inch. Okay.
No, it is just an inch. It's just one of the problem is that's where the adjustment is. And when you move that piece over.
Oh, it actually moves. Okay.
Well, yeah.
That's what closes.
I mean,
makes it close.
it's got a little wiggle. You know, there's a little wiggling. That's the adjustment.
Is that for alignment?
Yeah, alignment and
Okay.
whatnot. That's the adjustment right there.
Yeah, I wasn't aware that moved. All right, well, in that case, then you're probably going to be...
yeah. So...
And use your existing piece if you can.
Yeah. So that's kind of... I found a guy on Samba, and Don's hot to try. He wants to get a later bus with a, you know, the engine access panel back here. And I found a guy that's selling a whole section that he's cut out.
Yeah.
Got that whole piece in it for him. So I was thinking about getting it, letting me chop that piece off and let him have the rest of it if he's game for that.
There you go.
I don't know. It's just...
I mean, it's doable.
it's doable.
It'd probably be about a day's worth of work from start to finish, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, yeah, move it. Move it. Either that or get another deck lid.
Or get another deck lid. Yeah, I mean, it's just that easy.
But if you're already committed to the paint and everything else, it might just be cheaper just to fix it.
Painted. I've already swapped the hinges out. I could swap those back, but let me tell you, that wasn't fun.
No, don't. I don't think I get into that. I just go a little deeper and just and then hopefully that's where the problem stops.
And I mean, I've got to fix this area anyway. So it's you know, it is what it is. But that's where we're at on the bus project.
I think it's doable, but yeah, it's one more thing.
Yeah, it's just one.
So you'll have to get in there and dig. That's for sure. Get out your Sawzall.
Yeah.
If you're gonna fix that rear clip anyway, you might as well just start cutting it up.
Well, and they sell this piece that you could actually use. You know, you could cut it up. There's a new LSI piece, but again, we're merging early bay with late bay. So, and I mean, I looked.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
looked at Bill's bus. Looked at, you know, his is a 78. His is just like this one. So.
Also, they're all that way later.
Yeah.
Okay.
So basically, bay window bus. There was really only two, and I just happened to be right on the cusp. Of it, so.
The cusp.
Just. Yeah, if it was anybody else but me, I wouldn't believe it.
Special 1 year only stuff.
Oh yeah, there's a whole lot of that. So, but I don't know.
All right, well, we gotta do your glass, that's for sure. But that's a great story.
Yeah, well,
but I know exactly where you're at because I've been down that road before too.
I mean, so.
In my case, as of recently, it's the 944 Porsche suspension I put on the back of the Beetle. It seems like every time I put something on, it's like you need to put something else on. You got to keep adjusting, changing, fixing this, and finally it's installed. It finally works.
And the other thing that was just total dumb luck on the hinge thing here. Actually, you can see it in Don's a little bit better because it's off. But you see how the hinge here comes around the corner, and the connector piece that connects it to the spring is this little fork deal that grabs it like that. Well, on the earlier hinge, it was completely opposite. There was a single piece that comes off the hinge, and it went into a slotted section on the other hinge. So it was completely opposite of this. So I ended up having to swap out all of this stuff, to include drilling out those hardened rivets to make that work. But I've got it all pivoted back. It ain't coming apart anymore, but it was Oh, it was a good time.
Yeah, if you've gone through all that, cut it. Just cut it.
Yeah. It was just,
Because otherwise you're cutting up there again, and then you're repainting too. So yeah, just cut it.
so
Cut it.
the lesson is, get the right hatch for your bus when it comes to it.
Verify everything. I knew about the bolt holes not lining up because a friend of mine got a hatch from one of our other friends.
Yeah.
Brought it home, was so excited, went to bolt it in, and got it bolted in. Went to close it, and it wouldn't close.
Yeah. So anyway, you know, every time.
Anyway, what they ended up doing on that is they put their old hatch back in, and they cut a section out of the top of the hatch that they had just bought, because it turned out the bottom was bad on the one they bought too. Yeah. And they welded it in the bottom, filled that piece in.
Yeah.
So it wasn't the end of the world. It was just a lot more work.
Yeah. And I already cut my third brake light hole in the new hatch anyway.
I saw, yeah. I was wondering what that was. I thought you were going to put an emblem or something.
No, it's a third brake light. It's the light. It's the stock light out of a 58 to 61 bus. Just a single round.
Tail light?
Tail light.
Okay,
yeah.
I know what you're talking about.
It's that, and had to do a little modification on that to make it work, so it wasn't sticking out, and I cut the back of it off.
Gotcha.
And set up I think it was an 1157 LED setup, so it was a dual bulb, but I just wired all the wires to come on.
So it lights up all. Light. Yeah, I got you.
And what I did is I used the wiring for the defrost, since the defrost doesn't work anyway.
To turn on the third brake light?
I use that wire that runs up it goes above the headliner.
Oh, I see. So
and since I used
that into the system,
and then
I
couldn't tie into either one of the rear brake lights, because if the turn signal was on the left or the right,
that's right, it would do that.
So to make the third brake light work constantly, I had to go all the way to the source.
That makes sense.
So
that's right. I forgot it was a lot of single filament stuff in the early ones.
So yeah, in the early bus stuff, that's what you're doing with. But since the defrost wasn't working anyway. But I did try it, and the switch and everything comes on. There's power back there. There was like maybe 2 or 3 elements worked in it. Now
do you have a defroster glass, or do you have a plain glass to go in there now?
To go in now, we have a plain glass.
Plain glass, okay. So that's what I would have done too if it didn't work.
All by design,
yeah.
Of course. I don't miss those details. But, anyways.
All right, well, we got to put your glass in.
So yeah.
Let's see what we can do with that one. It's going to be hard to hold the camera, so we'll just do here and there.
We'll figure that out. All right.
What are you doing? Giving head?
You need something, huh? What? Huh? What are you talking about?
I don't know. You said something about head.
This is perfect.
Oh, he was standing in front when he did that. You can do it again. There we go. There you go.
Perfect size to it.
Perfect size. Jesus, is that big? Matt, tell us what you just found.
Bing! That should be tight.
Oh, just the nut came loose on it.
Just the nut came loose, yeah.
Oh, maybe the stud didn't pull. I thought the whole stud moved.
No, just the nut.
So one of the head nuts actually loosened up on this sucker, but it was running fine, right? You didn't hear any leaks or anything?
Not leaking, no pinging, no dinging, nothing.
That's the funny thing about it is I've seen that on motorcycles too. Sometimes you will have a stud come loose and it'll still run just fine. It's just fine.
It's weird.
Sometimes, worst case scenario, your head gets warped, and it's ruined. You got to remachine everything to make it fit. But if it was running fine like that, hell.
Yeah. This isn't gonna pop off when I just like.
It'll move, but no, it won't be like dramatic. Yeah, as you start to wiggle it out of place, it'll spring up a little bit, but just a little. You can smell all that hot oil in there. Phew.
Hey now.
It is. Are all the nuts on under here? Yeah, they look like they're over here. That was something else.
Smells like burnt oil though, doesn't it?
Yep, it's very common when you get under there to smell that.
Put those in a bag.
Those valve covers, they usually leak. And what happens, you get on the bottom of the head and the exhaust, and you get that burnt oil smell. It's just, it's almost like diesel, but it's more harsh than that. Oh, that's the end of them.
Yeah.
I think I put brand new ones on for you, didn't I? Yeah, those were brand new ones.
Yeah.
They didn't last too long. Aftermarket BS, Chinese crap. Well, anyway, tech session was fun today. I helped the guy out with his late model Beetle that had a air conditioning system installed, and that was kind of neat. But he was having a lot of problems with it running extremely rich, and it would not run properly at all. Why else would it be running rich? You know, that was the big question, is why else would it be running rich? And the big problem that I noticed is that it's got to be either the accelerator pump has a crack in it, or maybe the float valve is stuck. And that was a few of the things that I thought of. So we popped off the cover of the carburetor, and it turned out the float valve was not stuck, but the float was sunk. So the float turned out that it was full of gasoline because it developed a crack, and you know the story after that. A full float is not a buoyant float, therefore it doesn't shut off your gas. The next thing is the idle jet, which is on the right side of the carburetor, was cross-threaded. So there was something else that was running too rich, and it was sealed off from the outside world because the threads were in there. But whatever causes it to seat in the base, it wasn't seated properly. So once I got it properly threaded, that made all the difference in the world. The thing is running a lot better, but it's still not right. It's almost like it's running on 3 cylinders, but we didn't get as far as identifying that last problem before it was time to go. But at this point, he's running much better than it was, and he drove it there like that. I don't even know how he did. I mean, it was making so much smoke, and gas was spraying out everywhere. The oil has actually been thinned out a little bit as a result, too, because all that extra gas goes down in the engine and it stays there. So he's going to have to do an oil change, and I think the spark plugs are probably really sooty. So we suggested that he replaces those next as well, and that's where he should be. And that might just solve the rest of his problems, but we won't know, or at least I won't know until the next tech session when I see him again. But after that, I helped Matt, the guy that I put the Beetle engine in for almost 2 years ago. He's got a 1776 engine, so he needed to disassemble his engine so he can get the cooling tins and such off of it and get that ready for conversion. And I helped out a few other people with a few other miscellaneous things. Not too big of a deal. Everything was very small and not too interesting, so I really shouldn't even include that. But anyways, thanks for watching, you guys. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Check out my other YouTube channels, VV the Duck VV, which is this channel, Duckman Cycles, which is the other channel, and Skeeter the Duck, if you're interested in the duck's life. Also, check me out on Facebook, Duckman Cycles VW Garage. Join the group. And once you're up there, share whatever you've got. We want to see who you are and want to see what you're working on, so share it, of course. And lastly, if you'd like to email me, duckmancycles@duckshit.net. Thanks for watching, you guys. I appreciate it. We'll see you next time. Bah!